Happy Monday morning, everyone. This is Stacy Turner with our DMOpro series. I'm so glad you're joining us. We have a lot of new faces and friends on here. I had a chance to speak at a training in Texas, and so that's always fun to have new faces to see and new people on here with us. So just to kind of give you an idea of what this will look like, I'll do some training, we'll do some coaching, and then I want to open it up to you. So right now you're all muted. Patty's doing a great job keeping us all muted, but we want your feedback because really we learn from each other. I definitely do not have all of the answers, but you guys are learning things and doing things. It's about changing and being willing to be flexible and just learning. And I think that's what we're all here for. So thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you. And today we're going to talk about momentum. So I spoke a little bit about this in San Antonio this weekend. And I talked about either you're building your business or you're moving backward in business. There's really not a place where you can just stay or maintain. If somebody says, I'm just going to work on maintaining my business right now, there's really sad to say there's really not. Like you're either, because of the natural way that customers cancel or team members drop off. I mean, it's just a part of business, which is not true just for our business, but for other businesses. I've used this as an example before. Think of a doctor's office. They have patients that come in, and some of those patients will stay with that doctor as long as the doctor's in practice. That's their doctor. That's who they go to. And there's others that just come one time. They just have one issue. They need some medicine for that, and then they really don't ever come back. And there's people that have come for a while and then they move away, and so those patients are gone. Or maybe they've come for a while, but then they find somebody else that they just connect better. They need a specialist, and so they no longer come to the practice. The doctor is not like devastated by that. They know that that's a part of business. It just is. Whatever business you have in whatever industry, there's always going to be a natural, loss of customers, loss of team or employees. If you think of it as employees, only in the corporate side of Juice Plus do people stay for 31 plus years, working for the same company. Most of the time people don't. People move around the country, they get different jobs or whatever that looks like. So it's just a natural part of business. The key is for us not to take it so personal, and it's hard not to take it personal when we've spent so much time in helping somebody start their business and get going, and then to see them slide away is really just disheartening. And it's something I still struggle with. I don't know if I'll ever get okay with it, because I know those people, they're my friends, and I love doing life with them, and it's just sad to see them go. But I have gotten better, or am getting better maybe, at not taking it quite so personally and just being able to move on and move forward. Not like I'm moving on, I'm done with you, not that side of it, but just like, okay, we can keep going. And the keep going is really the key to this whole discussion, because if we have that natural fall off, then there has to be new coming in to fill that space, even just to maintain, right? Like if we're going to just maintain, if that's a thing, you're still going to have new people coming in to fill in those spaces of lost orders that are no longer shipping, customers that canceled, that sort of thing. So if you can just stay in that place of bringing in new, you'll at least be able to, sort of stay where you're at. But to have new coming in, that means there's activity happening to make that new happen. So if you're not doing activity and you're having the natural loss in business, then you're just going to slowly slide away. Numbers are going to slowly go down, and it's not a right away, because the business, marketing plan that we have is built really well. It has, orders, reshipping, it's a consumable product that we sell and that we take and our customers take. And then you have the monthly installments being paid, and like the stability in the comp plan is really smart. So that's going to carry you for a while. But if there's no new coming in, you'll eventually start losing a little bit of numbers. And then you're, borrowing excess for bonus, PB bonuses and qualification and that sort of thing. And then you're like, I'm almost not qualified. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do something. And I need to get some activity going here. And you kind of like wake up, or you're something you can, wake up one of your team members, and then they're like, oh, okay, what do we need to do? So that's the word. What do we need to do? So to build momentum, there has to be activity pushing something forward. We have to have something moving us. And so I just looked up some definitions today about momentum, and I wanted to share this simple one. I thought this was the best one: strength or force gained by motion or a series of events. And I was like, if that doesn't describe our business, I don't know what does, right? Like strength of force gained by motion or a series of events. So I would like to say like growth gained by activity through events. Like if we could just simplify it that much for us, growth through events. So there's no growth without momentum. And with momentum, growth will cost a whole lot less. So I want us to think about this. Like when you very first start doing activity, when you have somebody that's excited and they're new to the business and they've got this, very warm market, they've got a lot of people they can talk to because maybe none of their friends and family have heard about Juice Plus. So you've got this momentum of just the excitement of starting those conversations. And then, maybe somebody gets to QSC, they've got those 12 trio orders, they've got to QSC. And then if they'll keep working, keep building, keep talking to people, they can build to sales coordinator. And what I often find is people will say, okay, I got to sales coordinator. Like, I do not want to work that hard. That took a lot of effort to get there. And I don't know if I want to continue. I've had somebody audibly say that, but a lot of time that's what they're thinking. It does take activity. It takes events. It takes inviting to events. It takes follow-up, helping new team members get started. It's a lot of activity to build towards that sales coordinator promotion, or to any promotion, no matter what company you're in. And so once you get to that promotion, it's easy to be like, oh, okay, we made it. We got to the highest commission level. Okay, I made it. So now I'm just going to kind of ride it out. Well, the issue with that is, again, we talked about there's going to be a natural fall away, especially if you do that super fast. What happens 4 months later? Not everyone's going to reorder, or maybe 8 months later, not everyone reorders. But then you've also got, when you stop that activity or you slow down that activity, you're going to slow down the results that's coming in. But also think about what that said. Let me read it again. Keep building, growing, and moving forward, because the momentum you create, that's not the sentence. Hold on. There is no growth without momentum. And with momentum, growth will cost a whole lot less. So it's going to take a lot of effort to get to sales coordinator, to really build let's say POB sales coordinator team, because I'm talking to you guys that are here, like you're really wanting to build a paycheck and build a business with this, then let's get POB sales coordinator for ourselves at the least, and then build that underneath us. That's really where that's the beauty of the marketing plan to national marketing director, is getting solid sales coordinator lines. You can get there without it because they now have just having qualifiers. But I'm telling you, there's not a lot of stability just in being a qualifier, or just having 5 qualifiers. You're not going to have the numbers. So you may have the structure, but you wouldn't have the numbers without that. So you've got to have the points, structure, and points for that. So when we're looking and talking like super strength, let's go with sales coordinators that are POB. So if you are not at sales coordinator POB, that's your goal. I just made a goal for you. No, I want to encourage you to set that goal, get the highest. You're getting the highest commission level. And at that point, you're getting paid on both PB and POB bonus, that 6%. Like, that's really key. That will become the biggest part of your paycheck, those 2-3% bonuses, that 6%. So you definitely don't want to be leaving money on the table. Let's get to sales coordinator, get to POB, and then build those underneath us. But with that, once you're there, it's not as hard to keep the growth going, because you've already got the force of the momentum building. You've already got the conversations going. You've got the excitement in there. You've got the growth is just going to naturally move faster and stronger at that point, because you're not going to have to work as hard as you are as building the base. Okay. So then, your focus changes a little bit more to continuing to add your own. You're always wanting to to build direct to you and helping those new people move up. And so we can talk about that all I want, right? Like, oh yeah, sure. Stacey just said be a POB sales coordinator and just get some sales coordinators as POB underneath you. Oh, that's all I have to do. Oh, okay. Thanks for your help. No, I get that. It's easier said than done. So let's talk about getting it done. Like, what is really the activity that's going to help us do that? I think events are the key. The key to seeing that momentum grow and build really is through events, because that's where conversations are. That's where follow-up is. That's where business conversations happen. That's where belief is built. That's where confidence is built. And so I talk about events a lot here on this Zoom because it works. Like, it just plain works, guys. If I didn't see it work, even in my own business, I wouldn't have kept doing them. Now, you can tweak it a little bit and find what does work and what doesn't work. And you can't base the effectiveness of an event on one event. And you can't base the effectiveness of events on one time season in the year. And I'm going to say I have a harder time getting people to come to events in the summer. Here, the summers are nice and people are out and about, but they also travel a lot. We're in a small place. And so it's like once summer hits, everyone's going somewhere else. They're going to the mountains because it's so hot here. They're going to go up to the mountains 2 hours away, or they're going on vacation. It's harder. Football is huge here. I mean, huge. We have 31 state championships under our belts, like more than any other high school in the country, which is crazy. So like, football is king. There's no event happening on a Thursday or Friday night that I'm going to get to. And even getting parents to come if there's practice, like, it's just a harder time in the fall. But the winter, when we're doing events in January and February, we're packing the room at these events. But that's happening because I still did events, and I, talked to people in the summer, and I talked to people in the fall, and I talked with people during the months of November and December, where some people might be like, oh, it's just November and December, people aren't going to be interested. Remember, I taught you guys, if you stay in the activity, stay in the game, come January and February, they're going to come back to you. And I see that every year. And that's exactly what I'm seeing now. Like, a lot of growth, a lot of new team, a lot of customers direct to myself and our team, because we stayed in activity, we stayed and we kept building the momentum. And then now it's not as hard. The growth isn't as hard because we did the work before. So when you do the work before and you stay in the activity, it's going to build that momentum. Think about riding a bicycle. If you're pedaling, and like at first you got to stand up on the bike and you're standing and you're pedaling, and then it kind of gets a little bit easier, and then you're going, and then you can ride the bike and you're just pedaling along. You can even let go of your feet off the pedals and you're still going to move, but eventually that bike is going to slow down, and then you're like, oh, we're slowing down, I better get going again. And so you stand up and you start pedaling in, and you pedal a little bit harder. Sometimes there's seasons where it's easier. The momentum you built, you get to kind of ride off of that, and you're having the fruition of that. But if I wasn't doing events right now, just because I had those conversations doesn't mean the events would be happening. But I was discouraged come November, December, like probably like all fall. I was just like, what is going on? Like, we're just not seeing the results that I know can happen, and we're staying in this activity. What's the deal? But I did know, just keep moving. Do not stop. Don't stop, Stacey. Like, keep going, keep building that momentum, keep doing it. And I tell my team this all the time. Activity always gets results. Always. Like, you cannot doubt that. And you've got to stay true to that. Just stay in activity. And that looks like what our DMO teaches us. That's what this planner is all about. Having the conversations. If I don't have an event, I find it harder just to have organic conversations. If I have an event and I'm talking to someone, it makes it easy, because then you're like, oh, we're doing this event. You should come to this. I think you would really like it. So it's something I can use in that conversation to move a next step for that conversation. There's a sales, system that we have, and we can say we're not in sales, but guys, We're in sales. Like if you want to make money, you have to sell a product. And if you're going to sell a product, then you might as well have a system that helps you do that. So just thinking through when you have a conversation, what's the next step? You want to share a resource with them, connect them to a resource. What is that resource? It could be an event that you're connecting them to. Most of the time, I'm sending them a video. I want them to watch a video before they even come to the event. That's really helpful. And then they're not just coming in as a very new, like, what is this? I have no idea. It's one more exposure before they even get to the event. So everyone I talk to gets the same two videos. I don't switch it up. I'm not out there looking for the perfect videos. These videos work, and I'll post them in the chat again in our Voxer chat. But it's just the I don't know. It's like a 12-minute video. I forget which one it even is. I want to say the whole truth, but I know that that's like old school. That's probably not the title of it, but it's that one. And then Janet Roberto's 4-minute video. And I share both of those. And then there's a follow-up system. I say at the end, I'm really curious to see what you think of this information. And so I'll swing back around to you in a couple of days and see what stands out to you. So I'm letting them know that I'm going to do that, so it's not awkward. And then there's the follow-up side of it of, hey, what do you think of that? What stood out to you? What's the interest? I ask questions like, do they have a specific health need? And then I try to get on the phone with them. If I can get on the phone, I can get a whole lot more done. And then, or meet in person or get them to an event. And then at that event, there's so much belief building that can happen. And it's just fantastic. It just makes it super simple to be able to give the information to a lot of people. If you have multiple people there, then you're multiplying your time with that, and versus one-on-one. Sometimes you have to have that, but to be able to have a group of people, and there's social proof in that, as they see other people asking questions or sharing their stories or like showing interest, they're like, oh, I'm not crazy to think that this is a good idea. See, other people think fruits and vegetables in a capsule is smart too. And when you pass out the order form and other people are ordering, or they come up to you and ask questions, and then other people see other people ordering this, that's the social proof sometimes that just helps move them over the edge. And they're like, okay, yeah, I definitely want to get started. And then there's always the asking people, would you like to get started? What's holding you back? What keeps you from getting started? There's got to be an ask. So that could be the presenting of the order form, or it could be just in the conversation. I just asked one of the girls last week, I'm just curious, why in the world have you not ordered yet? Like, you've been to all the presentations, you could do it for me. Why not? What keeps you from ordering? And what her hang up was like, I've already said that. Like, I swear I've said that. And if she watched the video, she would know that. But at least I knew what the objection was. We quickly overcame it. She filled out the order form and ordered. So definitely asking for that. So taking good care of them, right? That's the customer care section of our DMO planner. So making sure that they're having a good experience, and experience takes it from an expense to an investment that they're willing to keep into their budget. And then always asking them to join us. Like at the point of sale, when they're giving you their card, that's when they're the most excited. That's when their belief is strong. They're thinking of other people. Bring that into the conversation. Who could we help together? And, you might want to do what I do. That's what I say, especially if they're ordering a lot of things. I'll say, hey, you might want to do what I'm do. I pay $52 a year, and then I get a 10% rebate back on my orders. And then anyone else that orders with me, I knew my family was more likely to order with me. And I was going to be telling them, because who doesn't need more fruits and veggies in their diet? So I knew I was going to be talking to them, but they were more likely to order from me than from some stranger. I don't know your friends and family, but you do. You have a relationship with them. You know their needs, and I would love to help you share this with them. Is there anyone that comes to mind that you think this would be beneficial to? And they're already like, yeah, my sister, my best friend, they're often thinking about that. Help them think through that process. And then you're going to teach them and show them how to share. And you just say, like, I'll show you, I'll help you. We're going to be doing this event. You can invite them to this event next time. And that's what I have seen. Our newer team is now inviting people who are inviting people to the events. We had at least 20 people at the last event. I didn't invite all 20 people. That's the momentum of a team, right? I spent time in with them and like teaching them. And then you ride off the momentum of that, if you will, if it gets easier to do the event, because I wasn't the only one inviting. I had 3 guests, but there were 20 people there. So there's a lot of confidence that's built in that. And like I said, that social proof is great. I probably won't get 20 people to an event in the summer. Maybe if we did a pool party, I'll try doing that somehow. Like, I just don't know if we'll get 20 people. I typically don't, but that doesn't mean in the summer, I'm like, you know what? This business doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nobody's interested. Nobody wants fruits and vegetables in capsule. I'm done with this. I'm out. That's what happens to so many because they just don't ride out that momentum. So I want to know from you guys, what do you do personally to keep the momentum of your business going? What does that look like for you? What have you found helpful? And remember, you're muted, so you'll want to unmute yourself.
I think you're right about events. I think they're huge. We do a lot of sell it in jar events. And we try to throw in something new occasionally.
Yeah, those events are fun that are the value added events. That's kind of what I call them. And it's easy to invite people to those events. Just make sure you're having some Juice Plus conversations. Present it some way, even if it's just pretty light. You don't have to do like a full PowerPoint presentation, but you know, salad jars are an easy way to get more fruits and vegetables. This all started with the simplest way to get fruits and veggies. These capsules, this is what I take. This is the smoothie. We're going to make smoothies, let them taste them. Somehow present Juice Plus and have those order forms, because you can spend a lot of time in those events just serving, which is great, but it does take a lot of time to organize those and just bringing everyone together, the cleanup, the setup and everything. It's worth it, but you make sure you're bringing in those product conversations, the business conversations, the order forms, and like, that's what we're here for, is to help them get started with the capsules. Salad jars are great, but it's not going to have as big of an impact as those capsules are in their bodies. Thank you, Marty.
I would say having a buddy and working with someone makes it a lot more fun, and then holding each other accountable. So totally doing that. And what you said, I feel like a lot of times we try to sidestep. We want to have an event, but we kind of want to sidestep around Juice Plus. So we name it a bunch of different things, and then we try to focus on all those things. And then the Juice Plus part gets kind of put in there after the fact. We're in business. This is the message we want to send. Juice Plus is king. You know, we got to make sure that gets out there.
Right.
That's what I do.
That's so good, Lori, because think about, like, if you're invited to an event and you think it's just a health spa day and like, you know, something fun like that, and then, oh, they present a product, you're like, oh, that's why they invited me, right? Like, it just doesn't go over well. It's not professional. It just is not professional. We want to be professional with this. Like, there's no reason to hide behind we represent a product or we sell a product. There's the proof that we know the power of this. Let's just be really confident in that and lead with that. So those other events are great, but if you're soft on the Juice Plus and it's kind of like, oh yeah, and then we have these little fruits and vegetables and capsule. If you want any information, let me know. Okay, thank you guys all so much for coming. We're so glad you're here. Like, don't be shocked when nobody orders. They'll come to the events because it's fun, but you're not having the product conversations. You're probably not going to get the results you want. So thank you, Lori. And what she said too about having a buddy, really key. So you may feel like you're in an area that doesn't have anyone else that's really doing the business, or you don't live by your upline. You don't have your sponsor right there doing events for you, which isn't going to really help you. It's when you do your own events that you're really going to grow. And then if you have a buddy, just somebody else to do events with, that is everything. One person doing events with you saying, okay, what are we going to do next? What's the next one? And that's often going to come through a new team member that's going to just really encourage you. So great reminder with that. Thank you, Lori.
Hey, Stacy, I want to come at it from kind of a different perspective, because I live in Northern California in north of Tahoe, and it's been a really tough winter because we've had so much snow and so much ice. you can't even plan events because one, nobody wants to drive or walk on it. And, you know, you never know if you have to cancel it. So I've just been doing a lot of, and I have to say, I live in a town less than 800 people. And so it's pretty saturated for how many people I've invited. So I am getting things on the calendar for starting in March. But you know, we still can do Zoom events. I've been doing what we call Take Healthy Back, where we talk, same thing. It's just an event, but we might get 3 or 4 people on it, and we can, you know, people can invite friends and family all over the country. So those are very beneficial also. And I think just to stay in activity is just always choose to take a step and do something and follow the DMO. I think that's perfect help.
Patty, great reminder again. What season are you in the area you're in? Like, she's talking about snow. I forget it snows in the winter. I'm in the desert. Like, we rarely get snow or bad weather, and they cancel school because it might snow the next day. It's kind of funny. So I forget about that. Like, the winter may be your downtime, and in the summer you have more people come to live events. Every area is different. So when you're comparing businesses, other people's events that they're showing online or talking about, and you're like, oh, I can't get anyone to come to a live event. Patty could say that, like, I'm a horrible team member. There's no way that this business works for me. Look at Stacey had 20 people at her event and I had nobody. I'm just terrible at this. Where she knows that's not going to happen. There's snow, there's ice. So what does she do? She adjusts and she starts doing them online. Super smart. So smart. Thank you, Patty. Who else wants to share?
Hey, Stacy, it's Beth. Sorry, I'm not on camera, but so one of the things I've been doing, and it's been super successful, I've partnered with my ex-husband, funny enough. He does a boot camp. He's a personal trainer, and I do like a salad jar or a bootable bowl, whatever that's called, jar. Anyway, and every time I always started out, I said, well, let me tell you how this goes. First, I'm going to tell you that I do this because I'm selfish, because I want to have a refrigerator that has good, healthy food in it. And I also want to share about other ways to get healthy food. And I always bring, the one thing I wanted to point out in this is I do talk about the Juice Plus. I get a lot of questions. I don't rush people to get started on their bowls. And then I say, and here's an order form. And when I started doing the order form, I started getting orders all the time. And people are just, I used to not really ask for the order at the time. And then I'm like, fuck, screw it. I'm going to ask for the order. So I asked for the order and here it is. So getting a lot more activity from people.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe at the beginning of those events, I mean, I don't know, you have somebody there. What if they don't come back? Like, what if that's that one chance to share? I think it's just confidence, and it's bold. Like, just share, just toss it out there. If they're ready, they're ready. If they're not, they're not. Like, you're not going to force somebody to do something, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, Beth. Lisa, did you want to share with us?
I have a question, kind of, because you guys have said a lot of things that keep our questions of mine, but like, so I've done the salad in a jar party, and I started because you guys had talked about the order forms, having those. But I guess I want to step back one more step, because something that keeps getting me is, are you telling people before the party that it's a Juice Plus gathering? Like, I invite them to the salad in a jar, but I'm always like, okay, how do I work Juice Plus into that? Except, I mean, I do at the gathering, I have the capsules on the table. I have the sheet with what's in each of them. But just having a little disconnect, and want to make sure I don't want to be, what's the word? Unauthentic or not telling people what it really is.
Yeah. So the more you do them, the more people will like understand that that's part of it. But it is, the strong recommendation or presentation side of the discussion is important. And I'm just thinking about like the last, the salad jar event, flyer that I made yesterday. It says salad in a jar and one simple change. Join us for just 1 hour and walk away with lunch or dinner for the rest of the week, plus tools you can use to support your health goals in 2023. So I don't say on there, like, it doesn't say Juice Plus anywhere, but I'm sharing the capsules as a tool. Plus, like at this point, if they don't know that I'm doing Juice Plus, like I probably am not living right. Like, you know, there's a lot of like people know that already. So that's what I would suggest. Like the flyer has the information, you know, that you're going to be sharing more. So I don't know. Does that help?
Yes, it does a lot. Yep. And then the other quick question I had was events. So I always waver back and forth with a Zoom with one person versus, well, partially, this partial reason for that, but a Zoom with multiple people, because I like what you said, and that's what flips around my head is momentum and more people. But then the other part that comes into my head is I find it challenging unless they're similar people to not have, I don't like presentations. I just got to be honest. I feel like they get really bogged down and long. And so I like the one-on-one because you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can tailor it to that person and what you know about that person. Because a lot of the people lately have been completely new people that I have met on a chairlift, met in the ladies' room and just chatted with. And so that's kind of where my question.
Yeah. I mean, if one-on-ones are working for you, that is an event. Like, don't discount that either. There is the confidence that's built with a lot of people coming together, or even 4 people or 3 people, you know, that connection that's there. So I don't think one is like overrides the other, but there is something about making it easier, if you will, when you're presenting to a group. And I would say keep your presentation simple. So on our team website, it's and I shared this with you guys a while back, but for those of you that are new, it's jpstartup.com, and there's a presentation button at the top. So I'll put it in here. jpstartup.com. And then there's presentation. If you click on that, there's the Juice Plus presentation slides, and then there's the business presentation slides. And it's built to where you don't have to upload it into PowerPoint or anything. Just have it on your computer screen or connect your computer to the TV. You can make the screen bigger by like zooming in, and then you're just, you know, scrolling down and you move down through the slides. You're not clicking to the next slide because it's like one long page of all of the slides. So you just slide down and just read the slides. There's a video built in of how Juice Plus is made. Maybe at the beginning of the presentation, just depending on how many people are there, I will ask them, hey, you know, why are you here? What are you here for? And we do street taco events because that seems to get couples to come and then they make decisions together. It's great. And information is on that site there too. At the bottom, it will say presentation tips, and there's like some links to some recipes and like exactly how I build out the event. But you can ask around, like, why did you come? If it's just for the tacos, or it's just for the coffee, or it's just for the friends, like that's fine. I get that. But is there a specific health issue that you're looking to overcome, or you're struggling with, or, you know, interests you? And then if you have like 20 people, that's going to take too long. So I don't do that. But if I've got 4 or 5, I now know kind of how to tailor that conversation in the research, maybe as I get to that page or whatever, to kind of go back to them. But really, if you're brand new, you don't have to do that. I didn't know that. I didn't have that skill set when I was, you know, new, and that would have been scary to ask them what their health event or concern was, because who am I to tell them anything? Like, really, we just need to keep the message simple. It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and this is what it is. And you're, you know, sharing that information. If they've already watched videos and they're coming into it knowing that, they're going to be more open to the information and, you know, that you're presenting anyway. And it's the conversations that happen that really build and make that event even better.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Stacey, I'd like to share something real quick. I love this conversation. So something that our team has been doing is a wine and wellness based around the Healthy Living affiliate Zooms. And so we did one last week, and I just host them here at the house. and we invite, and I put out a big salad bar. Each of my teammates brings a salad ingredient, and we have different friend drinks. Everybody makes their salad, and we sit down and we watch the affiliate Zoom, and it has just gone so well. And I love using those because they're short, but they're so professional, and it just fosters great conversation after watching that Zoom together. So that's been something that's been fun for our team.
Excellent reminder, Jenny. Like, you don't have to be the presenter. Watch the video. There's some amazing videos that are out there. And now that the Healthy Living Healthy Living affiliates, they have that link. Like, you don't have to type in the time and wait for it to send you an email. Like, all of that's gone. Like, the replays are already there. So just pick the one that you want to watch, you know, depending on who's in your audience. And that's excellent. I mean, look at Jenny's face. When she was talking about that, she was smiling, like she's having fun with that. That's key, guys. If the event is so stressful and like you're not having fun with it, you're not going to invite well to it. The information is not going to go over well, right? Like, what are you excited about with that? What makes it easy? What makes it fun? Having people bring the salad toppings, super smart, because they're more likely to actually show up and not back out because they're like, I said I would bring the tomatoes. I have to go, right? So there's something really smart about that. They're learning. It is very professional. Jeff does a great job with those. Use some event that's already done. You don't have to be the expert. Let the videos do the talking. Great reminder, Jenny. I love that. Anyone else?
Sometimes I wish I could just be a fly on the wall and watch all of these so I could get ideas.
Yeah, okay, that's a great example. Are there other team members or teammates or different teams doing events in your area that you can show up and that you can go to their events? That's really something that's smart. Then you get to watch what they're doing. All the events that come across on Zoom, you know, get on those and take notes. What are some of the verbiage that they're using to close at the end? You know, what are they saying at the beginning to start it off? I think that's really good. Joy, you asked me, can you share example of your invites, including the videos that you share? Yeah, do you want me to share some actual invitations that I have? I can put those in the Voxer group. And
yeah, that'd be helpful. Because, you know, as I'm fairly new, so I'm still trying to get my traction.
Yeah.
I put a link to my boards app page that I kind of copied from Stacy that's very similar to yours. It has that flyer on there, and then the sign up for the salad jar, but it's in a page, which I really like better than just sending a flyer.
Yeah. Great reminder. Pages are excellent. They're like little mini websites that you can send people that has all of the information in one place. That's a great one. All right, guys. Well, we're at our 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop this recording, but we can keep chatting. Thank you all for joining us.